It's city group night and you are just tired. You love your group, but it can be exhausting week after week of leading, communicating, coordinating, and caring. What do you do when you're at the end of your rope as a leader? In this video, I want to offer some city group help on what to do when you are tired by the weekly grind. Define the mission, describe the present, and diagnose the problems. First, our mission is to lead city groups as small communities that live out our core identities together in rhythms of family gatherings, neighborhood mission, and intentional growth. In the city group leader job description, which I've linked below, we have responsibilities to gather, to facilitate, to counsel, and to lead as examples of how to follow Jesus. Now, this is a high calling, but you're not expected to be perfect. Rather, you're expected to be growing in a process of faith and humility, and part of that journey of growth is noticing when you're weary and recognizing when you're losing energy and focus. This leads us to describe the present. Write out all that you do as a city group leader. What is all that's on your plate? Do you lead discussions? Do you host? Do you plan who's going to bring snacks? Or are you the one who's making the snacks? Do you coordinate the service projects? Do you coordinate childcare? Do you meet with people for coffee to provide counsel? Do you and your co-leader spend long hours talking about the group? Now think for a moment about what your city group does, meaning what are your usual rhythms and schedules? Do you meet for 2 hours every week? Do you have a meal attached to that? What are your rhythms of mission and DNA? When was the last time your city group took a week off? When was the last time your city group took a longer break, like a whole month off? Finally, diagnose the problems. Maybe take that city group leader job description and make some notes about what is particularly exhausting to you. Which responsibilities seem more like a burden in the weekly grind? Maybe the weekly family nights have just been stale, kind of boring. Maybe a particular part of leading is more draining, like finding childcare or sending reminder messages. Maybe you're a host in addition to leading, and getting the house clean every week is just a lot. Now, in addition to those practical questions, consider the deeper questions about your heart. What is really behind my exhaustion in the weekly grind? Maybe you feel like you've been pouring out and serving others without being poured into or served. Maybe you feel disillusioned because Christian community is supposed to be life-giving, but often it's very mundane and difficult. Maybe you're resentful of people who don't step up to lead. Whatever it is, a bit of reflection here will help you clarify what's really going wrong, which will likely lead you to a wise solution. I want to recommend another video that I've made called City Groups 101, Team Leadership and Shared Roles. Again, it's linked below. In the video, I discuss the practical ways that we can share the burden of leadership with the people in our group so that no one is just a mere consumer of City Group. Rather, everyone helps out because that's what families do. Those ideas will go a long way in helping with the weekly grind, but here are a few more steps that you can take to address this issue. First, pray for clarity. When we're tired, we often have a distorted view of how things are really going. Hopefully the process of thinking through the 3 Ds can help with that, but also ask God for Him to show you what is really bringing you down. Pray, Lord, I feel weary by leading week after week. Keep me from either quitting rashly or stuffing it down to keep going. I need your wisdom to show me what's wrong and how to make it better. How to do this in a sustainable and wise and healthy way. Second, ask for help. Yes, ask for help. I know I just lost you there. I know that this goes against most of our personalities, our culture, our pride, but you cannot be a healthy leader if you don't know how to ask for help, because when you try to do it alone, you're going to end up alone. Ask for help from me or another leader to talk through how you've been feeling. Ask for help from your co-leader to get their perspective and advice. Ask for help from your city group. Voice how you've been tired and you want their input on what to change together. Now, we usually think that if we ask for help, we're admitting our weakness, or others will think less of us, or it won't actually help. But usually the opposite is true. We're admitting our humility. Others often think more of us when we rely on them. And people are usually ready to jump in and help however they can. But you have to take the first step of trust and ask for help. Third, change your rhythms. You have the freedom as a leader to decide how to do the rhythms of family night, mission time, and DNA groups. So take advantage of that flexibility to try new things. Get your group's input on what are some different ways we can meet. Maybe for a time we're going to do a meal once a month instead of once a week. Maybe you'll meet every other week, with the off weeks being DNA groups. Maybe you'll take a month off and serve at a food pantry together. These are opportunities for you to experiment and find rhythms that work better for you. Speaking personally, I was kind of tired of leading a city group every other week, so we decided to try a new monthly schedule. The first week was normal family nights, the second week was ladies' night, the third week was a meal together, and the fourth week was men's night. It worked great, and it revitalized both me and our group. Finally, take intentional breaks. I say intentional breaks because sometimes we take times of rest that are not actually restful. I've linked another video called City Groups 101, Summer and Rest, that discusses different kinds of rest and how we can integrate regular rhythms of rest into our group schedule. Now, if you're struggling with the grind of always leading and it's starting to affect you and your group, maybe watch that video and decide on a few times during the year when you can step back, take a breath, renew your energy, and get excited about leading a group again. What if you need more help? As always, please call in me or one of the other elders or pastors. We won't freak out like you've said you just want to quit. Your shepherds care for you, and we know better than anybody the weary task of loving people and leading people week after week. And even more than that, I want you to know that Jesus knows how you feel perfectly, and he will meet you in your exhaustion. Come to me, all who are weary and heavy laden, and I will give you rest. I hope that city group help was helpful. Until next time, leaders.